All right, guys, I'm talking about a new house on the channel today. In fact, you're probably familiar with this house if you got our latest mystery box. We did about 600 kits, so 600 of you should know about this house. I'm talking about Sensatio Paris, and the fragrance that was in our kit is Golden Pistachio right here. So I'm going to talk to you about 4 fragrances from this house, and there is a discount code for buying the fragrances, and I'll let you know all the details coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian, talking to you about a new house, fragrances launched in 2024, and we highlighted one of them. It was Golden Pistachio. And let me know if you got the kit and if you enjoyed this particular fragrance. Add a comment below. And if you're familiar with the rest of the line, do let me know as well. Add a comment below. So they have 4 fragrances I'm going to talk to you about. The first of which is Black Sesame. We have Cumbawa Wood, of course, Golden Pistachio, and Hypnotic Flower. So 4 different fragrances. 2 of them created by Serge de Oliveira, and the other 2 created by Manon Coen, if I'm remembering correctly. But I'll let you know once I speak about each of the fragrances individually. But there's some really great fragrances here, and I'm going to rank the fragrances in order of preference. But let's get started with the first fragrance called Black Sesame, this one right here. So all of the fragrances are quality, but I have my preference in the style of fragrances they are. I really enjoy Black Sesame, and it's a gourmand fragrance utilizing sesame, but I personally don't think it's about the sesame. It just works in to create this nuttiness with all the gourmand notes that are in here. But it smells really great. It's created really, really pleasantly. I do want to say this one does lean a bit feminine as well. But this features notes of chocolate, black sesame, vanilla, amber, iris, orange blossom, coffee, amaretto, musk, and tuberose. So it does act a bit nutty to me, and I think it's because of the black sesame or the sesame note that's in here. But in the end, it's quite vanillic and ambery for sure in the dry down. It's also big. All of the fragrances to me, when I was testing them out, do wear big, and they're made in a big way, which is kind of nice. They're not wimpy fragrances. Sometimes fragrances smell so good, but you spray them on, it's like, where is anything happening with this fragrance? It's kind of so calm that I was so excited for the smell, but it doesn't do anything for me. But the fragrances here are all big, including Black Sesame, and it's a really delicious, powdery, chocolatey, nutty, and ambery take on a vanillic gourmand that I think you guys should totally get your nose on if you like gourmands. Again, it does lean a bit feminine, which I don't have a problem with, but I am going to let you guys know that. But if you like the idea of nuttiness, but not nuttiness like almonds, it's sesame. So sesame has a different smell or experience. So this doesn't act like peanuts or almonds or hazelnuts or walnuts. It's different, but I think the way they mixed it or blended the fragrance together, it is really delicious. You experience the chocolate, of course, the nuttiness from the sesame, the vanillic touches for sure, and the amber. So along the way, you have some other things coming in, slight booziness. It acts pretty powdery, but super cozy, and I think the best season for this is autumn. It's that kind of a fragrance that you know will smell so good, in the autumn months when it's, starting to get a bit cool out there. It's still not super cold like winter, and you want this comfy kind of hugging fragrance, and this Black Sesame will shine in the autumn temperatures. So let me tell you a little bit more about it. So there's a golden glow about this. It's almost like the sesame is creating that. And the chocolate is not the super thick kind. It's almost like a dusting of chocolate, but it is a prominent note. The blending is superb. Serge de Oliveira created some really great fragrance here. The first and the second are his fragrances, and the latter 2 are the other perfumer, which I'll let you know about. But I like this. I really do enjoy it. It's a really delicious gourmand. I would wear it. It is nutty, but the nuttiness is coming in the way the sesame note is. I've actually worked with sesame. I love the ingredient, especially in something like tahini or halva, where you have that halva-like smell in here, but blended with all of the other gourmand notes. So if you've ever had halva, it's a super delicious treat. Perfect for after a really savory meal. It's the nice, sweet, balance afterwards. And you're going to like this one. Again, it does lean slightly bit feminine, but if you like gourmands, I think you should definitely check it out. That's Black Sesame from the house of Sensatio Paris. Let me know if you're familiar with that. All right, the second fragrance is called Cumbawa Wood. So I had to look up Cumbawa, and basically what that is kaffir lime. So this is a different word for it, and I think it's a bit more politically correct word for that note. So this is a citrus fragrance. It's overdosed with a lot of citruses, but this is a kind of citrus that is oomphy. So as I was saying earlier, the fragrances are oomphy, especially the first two. They act really dense and intense, and I like that about it. And this woody citrus fragrance is so zingy. There's a major zing about it because it has a lot of ginger, but there's also a lot of lemons here, and the combination is so great. So it's got the lemons, we've got ginger, we've got Cumbawa, we've got cashmere wood, black pepper, ylang, ozone, patchouli, and amber. It's a long-lasting citrus fragrance, which I like, and when you wear the fragrance, you'll experience its denseness. And, it doesn't act transparent. It has a thickness about it. So it has a great lingering power. But in the end, it's still a citrus. It's not an amber or vanilla fragrance. You'll really wear a citrus, but in a thick, dense way rather than a wimpy way, if that makes sense. But it's a great take on a lemon. It's got the sweet tartness there. You've got the zinginess from the ginger. And the Cumbawa adds a unique citrus take on here. It's not a typical note that comes up in citrus fragrances, but I like its uniqueness, and it adds its own accentuation with the citrusy touches. I used to cook a lot, and I've cooked with kaffir lime before, the leaves and the lime itself. So I really enjoy citruses, and I think this is a perfect citrus fragrance. And if you're looking for a new citrus, definitely check this one out. When I'm wearing this one also, it does get spicy, and I do experience a bit of floral touches. And there's no mention of orange blossom or neroli or anything like that, or even the leaves of the petitgrain, the leaves of the bitter orange. And I think the Cumbawa is giving me that kind of an effect. Really wonderful. It's a unique take on a citrus, but you're familiar with this. You're familiar with this kind of a fragrance. It's just, I like the way it wears on skin. It's dense, it's intense, and smells so good. So good. So that is Cumbawa Wood. Let me know if you're familiar with it. Let me know if you're familiar with this word. Very good. Really, really great. Now, I just kind of also gives me a slight mintiness, but so wonderful, so great. I think I've got some trips planned in the summertime, and this is going to come along with me, and I'm going to utilize it and wear a lot of it in the heat. We've got some wine country trips during the summertime. It's going to get really hot there, dry and hot. I think that's the kind of temperature this fragrance will shine in, but also in humid weather. I think if you live in a humid climate, I think this should be perfect for it, because I like tart, more astringent kind of fragrances in the humid heat, and I think they shine quite a bit. And I'm not saying this is uber tart, but there's enough tartness for it. So I didn't mention that there is a discount code for the fragrances. If you are in the market for any of these, I have a link in the info box to ScentSplit. You can use the code The Perfume Guy to save 10% on any of these fragrances. So again, if you're in the market, check out the link in the info box. But the third fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Golden Pistachio. It's definitely my favorite in the line. It's the one we selected and chose to feature in the latest mystery box. Let me know if you got your kit and you sampled it and what you thought about it. This is considered a fruity gourmand, and it's created by Manon Coen. The last two fragrances are Manon Coen, whereas the first two were Serge de Oliveira. I've never heard of Manon Coen. I'm familiar with the Serge de Oliveira. He's created fragrances for Atelier Oblique, Room 1015, and so on. But I'm not familiar with Manon Coen, but she did a great job with the pistachio. And it's a fruity take on a nutty pistachio fragrance. We've got tonka beans, ice cream, vanilla, pistachios, rum, almonds, sandalwood, musk, apples, and pears, bergamot, coumarin, peony. Lots going on here. It wears like exactly, it's creamy for sure. It's nutty for sure. And you've got the combo of the pistachios and almonds together. And that kind of, I like it when they add more than one type of nutty notes. Like if it's a pistachio focused fragrance, I like it when they add another nutty note because the nuttiness brings out its unique characteristics of one another. Like when almonds come in, you get a bit more of a pistachio effect and vice versa. But this is super creamy, also slightly boozy, very vanillic for sure. And of course the fruitiness comes in. Now the first two fragrances to me were the strongest. This one, I think, I wouldn't say they're as potent as the first two, but I wouldn't say it's a wimp either. But as a smell, it's super yummy. Really creamy, really creamy and vanillic. So I like that there's a slight freshness in there as well, but the creamy milkiness, the lactonic qualities is so cozy here. I think they did such a great job with this fragrance. It's a really yummy gourmand, and I think this fragrance will probably put this brand on the map because it's a really high quality take on a gourmand fragrance. And again, if you've got the mystery box, what are your thoughts about Golden Pistachio? Do add a comment below. I definitely think that that fragrance is a wonderful take on a pistachio fragrance, and I recommend it if you're looking for a pistachio fragrance. So that is Golden Pistachio from the house of Sensatio Paris. All right, and last but not least, we've got Hypnotic Flower, and I have to be honest, I'm going to give you my ranking now. This is my least favorite of the collection. So my number one favorite is Golden Pistachio. That's why I selected it for mystery box. My number two favorite is Cumbawa Wood. I love the citrus. I love the zinginess. I love its intensity. My number three favorite is Black Sesame. I actually really enjoy it. I think it's a quality job. It's a really great fragrance. And then the last fragrance, of course, at number four is Hypnotic Flower. But this is a distant number four, whereas the first three are really quality. This one I didn't really care for as much, unfortunately, but I think it'll find an audience. I would call this an amber floral. The brand calls it a green floral. I don't get a lot of green qualities. I think the green is mixed in there, but I get more of an ambery effect here, so I'm going to call it an amber floral fragrance. And once again, this is created by Manon Coen. It does have orange blossom, labdanum, spices, jasmine sambac, peaches, vanilla, woods, tuberose, and rose. I guess because it's the white floral thing. I love orange blossom. I don't love tuberose as much as orange blossom, and it's a white floral note, but I like the citrusy effect the orange blossom provides in comparison to what tuberose provides. And you can totally smell the tuberose is dominant here, even though I feel like orange blossom is pretty prominent as well, but the tuberose gets in the way. It also kind of like gets in the way of the jasmine, so it kind of pretty much dominates, even though you have other white floral notes in there. But it does create a bit of a zing in here as well, a slight fruitiness. And I think I'm getting that zing from the jasmine sambac in here. It definitely provides that for sure. Perhaps it's the spices mixed in together as well. I'm not saying this is a bad fragrance. It's just my least preferred fragrance. But in the end, I think it's quality work. It's just a lot of tuberose. And the tuberose is a beautiful flower. I love the flower. The flower itself, when it's like baking under the sun and it's heated up, it has a really great, strong fragrance. Definitely is not one of my all-time favorite flowers to wear, if that makes sense. Let me know if you're a fan of tuberose. This does also have a bit of a vintage quality, and generally tuberose to me does anyway. I always think when I smell fragrances with a lot of tuberose, it reminds me of the Robert Piguet fragrance Fracas. I'm not saying this smells like Fracas, because Fracas to me is very bubblegummy. This one is not as much, but it reminds me of the tuberose in Fracas, if that makes sense. So that is Hypnotic Flower, the last fragrance from Sensatio Paris. So those are the four fragrances I'm talking about. Let me know your thoughts on this line. If you have any questions or comments about the line, as always, add a comment below. Which one sounds the best to you? And don't forget to take advantage of the discount code. It's the Perfume guy over at ScentSplit. These are selling over there, and I wanted to highlight them for you guys because there's some quality work here. And of course, we featured Golden Pistachio in the latest mystery box. I wanted to do this video to let you guys know about this house. Anyway, also wanted to let you know, if you are familiar with Nectar Olfactif, I did a video last year with Andy, these two fragrances. This is a sister house. So if you like the fragrances of Nectar Olfactif, you're probably going to like the fragrances of this line as well. I think the quality, the work is very quality, the fragrances. So very wearable fragrances. So check them out if you haven't had a chance to, and do let us know what your thoughts are. And of course, also let me know if you got the mystery box and what your thoughts are on the Golden Pistachio. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.